Yeah, I know. It's a real tragedy.
Well done, Borna Coric. Seems like the gods were against him there.
Mr. Goat's opining. Look at this set point. This was Roger's second chance, second set point in that first set tiebreaker yesterday. This could have changed everything. I mean, when you get a guy in that position to hit a forehand falling over like that, how do you lose? No decima. That's right, I haven't read an article yet, but I'm so angry, I had to hit a little stick volley. Today on Coffee Break Tennis, we talk about why Roger Federer is still an overwhelming favorite to hold up this trophy for a record 9th time in just a few weeks. Rafa Nadal, number 1 in the world again after Marin Cilic and Bjorn Coric win the 2 most important grass court tennis tournaments in the world, not named Wimbledon. But don't worry, Rafa's dealing with a whole nother different kind of struggle. We'll talk about that later. Marin Cilic talked to the Tennis Podcast and revealed a couple things that he thinks could be problems for both Djokovic and Roger Federer at the upcoming SW19 Wimbledon Championships. And Nick Kyrgios gets a stiff fine for, of all things, playing with himself. All that and more in today's edition of Coffee Break Tennis. Let's get into it. Mr. Goat, I know he always sleeps, but he's so depressed. Look at him. Yesterday, Mr. Goat was so depressed after Roger Federer didn't get La FEDecima, he already made a FEDecima cake and everything for our party we were going to have. Mr. Goat spent the whole day in the bathroom sink. Mr. Goat, talk to us. It's okay, Mr. Goat. Tell us something. Show us a sign. Show us a sign of hope. In fact, Mr. Goat hasn't been this depressed since he went to the vet and had to wear the cone head. Welcome to Coffee Break Tennis. We've got a big stack today of interesting things from the world of tennis. A lot of it dealing with Roger Federer, Marin Cilic, Novak Djokovic. Let's give our credit to Cilic, of course, and Borna Coric, who incredibly, we're going to look at the stats before we get into the stack of news articles today. But we're not just going to look at the stats from Roger Federer's loss to Borna Coric and Halle. We're going to look at the stats from other matches in Halle, matches from Stuttgart, matches from Queen's Club, because there's one big thing that Roger did better than everyone in the last 2 weeks of grass court tennis. By the way, if anyone's a native Deutscher speaker, anyone's from Deutschland, comment below, because I always say Halle. You know, the E at the end of a German word, it's a sound, is my primitive understanding. I heard somebody say Halle. I think, was it Roger? Did Roger say Halle? Because if somebody else said it, I would have been like, oh, that person's stupid. But if Roger says it, I'll think, ooh, maybe I should do that. So comment below on the definitive pronunciation. Danke. Danke dir. So let's bring Mr. Goat's MacBook over here to look at some stats. So there were some amazing stats, some weird stats from this loss. For one, Roger Federer won more points in the total match than Borna Coric. How do you lose when you win more points? Like if it's a football game, a soccer game, a basketball game, any other sport really, comment below if I forgot a sport where this doesn't work, but any sport besides tennis, if you win more points than the other team, you win. But not yesterday for Roger. I almost said today. Not yesterday for Roger Federer. But there was one thing that I noticed Roger Federer doing throughout the entire 2 weeks of Stuttgart, Halle, whichever it is, in Queen's Club tennis. Federer had one stat that he did better than everyone at Wimbledon last year, which is a thing that I was talking about going into the finals and semifinals, saying, look, Roger's doing this so well, he's definitely going to win. He did it again, except in that, mainly that final third set against Coric is when it fell apart. Some people were comparing Coric's performance to Djokovic in his prime, 2014, 2015 Wimbledon. Djokovic, think of that. A lot of people thought Borna Coric was kind of playing like that. To be honest with you, he was pretty perfect in that third set. He only missed one first serve in the entire third set. Imagine that. Roger Federer only got one chance to return a second serve in that entire third set. Sounds a little bit like when Djokovic was perfect in everything he did. Remember, he would never miss those years when he was winning everything. So what was that one thing you might be wondering that Roger did better at Wimbledon last year than everyone, that he did better than pretty much everyone these last 2 weeks? Of course, didn't do it against Coric. That is win on second serve percentage. Now, Roger's always doing great on win on first serve percentage. And a wise man once said, I can't remember who, but some famous tennis player from a long time ago said, you're only as good as your second serve. Let's just say it was Rod Laver. Somebody like that said, you're only as good as your second serve. And Roger Federer on grass has the highest win percentage on second serve. In last year's 2017 Wimbledon, Roger Federer had the best second serve win percentage of anyone, and he was doing it again. So let's look at some of these numbers. Against Milos Raonic, this is not going to be in any particular order. I didn't organize this right, but against Milos Raonic in the final of Stuttgart, when Roger earned the #1 ranking back just a couple weeks ago, win on second serve, 59%. That tied Milos Raonic's 59%, but Roger had a nice 9% lead, 86 versus 77 on win on first. That made it a straight sets win, amongst other things. Against Nick Kyrgios in the semifinals of Stuttgart, Roger, 75% win on second, 48 for Kyrgios, 85 versus 73 on the first serve. That's obviously a win, although tough win, tiebreaker in the third set. Against Guido Pella, that was a 71% win on second for Roger. A very nice 70 from Pella. Against Misha Zverev, one of the lower ones, he had a 57% win on second serve. Still, most players, most of the time, most services, they're going to take that 57% win on second serve. Numbers in the 70s, high 50s, really good numbers from Roger Federer on second serve. Let's look at Nick Kyrgios, his second round at Stuttgart against Maximilian Marterer, kind of similar to Federer, Marterer. Nick Kyrgios wins that match, but only a 53% win on second serve. That's the lower end of the 50%. Richard Gasquet wins over Jeremy Chardy. This was the final of Schertagenbosch. Somebody put that comment on the screen, Mr. Go. Somebody taught me how to say it. Let me know if I'm right. Schertagenbosch. So over at Schertagenbosch, Richard Gasquet, he wins with a 57% on second serve. Gasquet's semifinal against Bernard Tomic, 42% win on second serve. Jeremy Chardy's win over Matthew Ebden in the semifinals, that was 44% win on second serve. Richard Gasquet's win percentage on second serve over Stefanos Tsitsipas, who we affectionately refer to as Sisyphus, 61%, it's a little higher. A lot of players who were winning their matches were still winning less than 50% or a little over 50%. Let's move on to Halle and Queen's Club. Roger Federer in his first round match against Badin, 73% win on second serve. Again, Roger Federer soaring very high with the win percentage, 88 on first. I mean, you're unbeatable when you're serving like that. Against Benoit Paire, 61% win on second serve for Roger Federer. It's pretty high. Meanwhile, in Queen's Club London, Nick Kyrgios win on second serve against Kyle Edmonds. Tough match, 53%. Significantly lower than some of the 70s and 60s that we see Roger posting. Djokovic wins over Grigor Dimitrov. Djokovic win on second serve, 56%. Cilic, higher. Here's the exception. The people that I saw getting higher wins on second serves, other than Federer, Cilic and Borna Coric. So Marin Cilic here, 60% win on second serve. Not as crazy high. This is over Gilles Muller. Not the greatest returner, right? Not as crazy high as Roger's numbers, but 60% pretty good. We could argue that Muller was an easier opponent to get a higher win on second serve against. Sam Querrey, win on second serve over Stan Wawrinka, 52%. So you would think Sam Querrey, great serve, would win higher than 52% on second serve, but he didn't. Francis Tiafoe in a win over Leonardo Meyer in the second round at London Queen's Club, 50%. This one's a whopper. Nick Kyrgios wins first round Queens. We all remember this match. It was a great match against Andy Murray. It was exciting to see Murray come back. Maybe part of this is because that first set, Nick Kyrgios, it almost appeared that he wasn't even trying in that first set. Anyways, his win, get this, win on second percent for Nick Kyrgios in a match that he wins, 32%. How the heck do you win a match only winning 32% on your second serve? Novak Djokovic, 50% over John Millman. Dimitrov over Zoomer, 45% win on second serve. Now we start getting into some good stuff. Borna Coric, second round at Halle over Basilashvili, 73% win on second. That sounds more like a Roger Federer number. Over Alexander Zverev in the very first round for Borna Coric. Alexander Zverev, great opponent, right? 68% win on second serve for Coric. Roger Federer puts up a 66% win on second against Matthew Ebden. Novak Djokovic back to Queen's Club over Adrian Manarino in the quarterfinals, 55%. So there's a trend here. A lot of these players, they're winning, but they're winning second serve win percentages in the low 50s. Some of these guys even going lower. Nick Kyrgios had 32%. Here's another Nick Kyrgios win on second over Feliciano Lopez quarterfinals. Again, not the greatest returner in the world. Only a 48% win on second serve for Nick Kyrgios. Let's look a little bit at Marin Cilic. Marin Cilic's win over Sam Querrey. Now, he did put up some good numbers, but this one, 56% win on second. Cilic win over Djokovic in the finals. 58% win on second serve. Cilic's win over Nick Kyrgios, second serve, win percentage for Cilic, 70%. Over Sam Querrey, 56%. Over Fernando Verdasco in the first round of the London Queen's Club, 80% for Marin Cilic. Over Gilles Muller, 60% win on second serve. Here's Coric with a 60% win on second over Seppi in the quarterfinals. Okay, so you get the picture from all this. Most players in all these tournaments had a much lower win on second serve percent than Roger Federer. Roger Federer doing great until he gets to Borna Coric. 42% win on second serve for Roger Federer against Borna Coric. Now, like I said, a lot of comparisons to Novak Djokovic. A lot of people saying Borna Coric was playing perfect, playing so good, so amazing. He only lost one set in the entire tournament, and of course, that was the second set against Roger Federer. So second serve is such a great measure of a tennis player because, one, how risky are you willing to be? You know, sometimes people choke, right? And second serve is like the best time. You're losing, it's a set point or something like that. You got a second serve. Never a better opportunity to choke. And Roger Federer, what is he known for? One of the things he's known for many things, but he's known for being pretty fearless with his shot selection. He goes for the shots that a lot of people aren't willing to risk in the big pressure moments. Just look at this match point he saved against Benoit Paire on a second serve.
Oh, how tough was that? Oh, boy.
So the weird thing about this loss against Borna Coric is look at the second serve win percentage. 42% versus 48% for Borna Coric. So this is the worst second serving performance for Federer of the entire 2 weeks. Stuttgart, and Halle. But look as we break down the sets. Set number one, which Roger lost. Remember, we played the clip from that one set point. He really should have won that set. I'm sure he feels like it's almost like a little bit of bad luck. A couple points didn't go his way. Roger Federer only lost 2 points on his first serve in that entire first set. He only lost 3 on his second serve, winning 57%. He got 79% of his first serves in, 8% more. He got 5 aces on 0 double faults. Now, Borna Coric did do the exact same thing, 5 aces on zero double faults. But Roger, way more first serves in and winning 93% versus 78% on the first serve in that first set. Roger Federer literally did everything better in that first serve, every stat, but he somehow manages to lose that tiebreaker. And it makes sense. I mean, he had the 2 set points. He did everything he needed to earn the opportunities to win that set. He didn't do it. It's a real head scratcher. It's really sad, whatever. But it sure doesn't mean that Roger Federer is doomed for Wimbledon. Like some of these headlines that we get coming up in just a second, you're going to be shocked by some of the stuff these online publications, these newspapers, whatever the heck they are writing. Like Wimbledon is over already. Wimbledon hasn't even started yet. So what happens to Roger's second serve, though, as the match goes on? In the second set, now Roger does one thing better. He hits more aces. He hits 6 instead of 5. Roger still gets more first serves in than Borna Coric in this second set. He wins more on the first serve, but his second serve win percentage goes down. Now Roger returns a lot better in the second set. That's why he breaks Coric's serve twice in the second set and wins the set fairly easily. He's winning 86% versus 61 on the first, 43 versus 44, not as well on the second. Not as much of a factor because he only hit 7 second serves, making 76% in. But in the third set, Roger Federer's serve, he gets broken twice. It's no surprise his serve numbers go way down, winning only 33% on the second serve. Coric, on the other hand, wins 100% on the second serve, but doesn't look as difficult as that sounds when you see that he only missed one first serve in that entire third set. Wins 79%, 15 out of 19 first serves. Coric gets 95% of his first serves in. That's all except one. 19 go in, one doesn't, and he wins that 1 second serve that he has to play on that 1 point. Roger Federer first serve in percentage drops to a very low 52%, only half. So Roger Federer, there was no way Federer could have won this set because, with these serve numbers, Federer can find a way to win, maybe somehow find his way into a tiebreak and do it, but not when the opponent is making 19 out of 20 first serves in the box. So this is a really hard one to swallow because look at this. Roger Federer, total points won, 97 out of 186, 89 for Coric. It's 8 more points for Roger in the total match. Maybe that doesn't sound like a lot to some people, but hey, that's enough to win a whole tiebreaker and then some. When you average the first and second serve win percentages together, Roger's winning 74% on serve, where Coric 67%, so a 7% advantage to Roger. That's pretty big in tennis. It usually means you win the match, especially when on return points, this is the average of first and second returns. Roger wins 33%. 7% more, again, another lucky number 7 compared to Coric's 26% win on return. So Roger literally won more points, did better on serve, did better on return, and loses. This looks very familiar to me. Why? Because look what happened in Miami when I was so heartbroken. I had my Miami finals tickets, and Roger loses in his first match of the tournament to Thanasi Kokkinakis. Look at the numbers here. This is incredible. 7% higher win on serves, averaged first and second together, 73% versus 66. And Roger over Thanasi Kokkinakis on total return points win. Just guess how much. Unlucky number 7 for Roger. 27 win percentage for Kokkinakis. Add 7 to that, you get 34% win on return for Roger Federer. Total points won more for Roger. 51% versus 49%, came out to only 2 points this time. So this is even worse. Roger won 2 more points in total than Kokkinakis and lost. But this time, he won 8 more points in total. Times 4. I mean, you cannot be serious. So that's enough of the stats. Why does it all matter? Because I've got messages, people sending me messages on Twitter, Instagram. By the way, you can follow me and message me if you'd like. Follow me on Instagram at Coffee Break Tennis, spelled just like the way we do here. Follow me on the Twitters at Coffee Break Tens, TENS, like the number 10. If you want to tweet at me or send me messages, I've got so many messages with people very upset, people very nervous, people very worried, saying, oh man, Roger looks terrible. One person was saying to me, Roger's first serve percentage in is very low. And I noticed that too. That was one thing that I noticed at Stuttgart. Roger's first serve in percentage was a little lower than what we usually see at these grass tournaments or really anywhere. But the reason why is because Roger's always trying to hit an ace on that first serve. His ace numbers were low, but not so much against Coric. What did he have, 11 aces or 12 aces for Roger? And the first serve in percentage, other than that third set, was a little higher because he was hitting more aces the first and second set. Roger hit a ton of aces, got more first serves in. So things really could have been different if he could have just won that first set tiebreaker. It's hard to see him losing the match. Marin Cilic talked to the Brits over at the Tennis Podcast, and he shared a little bit of insight into what he thinks of where Novak Djokovic's game is at the moment. ATM, as they say, the young people. Just looking from the other side of the net, said Cilic, I feel that in some shots he, talking about Djokovic, was maybe executing them a little bit better before he got injured, like when Djokovic still ruled tennis. Even today, I didn't have such a good percentage executing the first serve, meaning he had to hit a lot of seconds, meaning that Novak Djokovic had a lot of opportunities to do what he does best, crush second serves. And he was giving me chances to stay with him. I had a lot of second serves, and some of them he was missing, meaning Djokovic missing a lot of these returns where usually he crunches you for hitting a not so great second serve. This is what maybe we usually wouldn't see from him on the other parts of the court. It is difficult to judge. From a serving standpoint, I don't know if Djoker had a slightly faster serve in the past. It may just be part of the process for him while he is trying to be completely healthy. I guess he's saying, like, maybe he's not going for as much on the serve because he doesn't want to aggravate the elbow. He's moving really well. We knew that. Returning really well, although we just point out he's not returning as well as he has. And I think he's improving every single week. It is great for us to see him playing so well, and I hope he's going to stay healthy until you play him at Wimbledon. Don't want him to be too healthy then, right, Cilic? This is the best part, though. I think this is Tennis World USA. The last one was from The Express. I think they must have grabbed this from the tennis podcast. I'm sure Cilic said this in the same interview. I didn't listen to the podcast, but might be in there. If anyone heard it, comment below, because this was egregious. I hope the people at the tennis podcast said, that doesn't make any sense, Cilic. This is why you need someone who knows something about tennis writing these stories. Of course, Luigi Gatto, who writes 99% of all articles at tennisworldusa.org, wrote this one. Marin Cilic feels that only one obstacle can prevent Roger Federer from dominating on grass, even at Wimbledon. The speed of the surface. I know what you're thinking. Oh no! Are you telling me they slowed down those Wimbledon grass courts even more? No, that's not what they're saying here. This one's nuts. This one doesn't make no sense to me. Cilic, the Croatian player, noted that something is different this year on grass. Although the Swiss managed to claim his first title in Stuttgart and reach the Halle final, Halle, the grass is, I think, just from watching on TV, a little bit faster. Not easy to play. If you lose focus for a couple points, things can go really badly. But hey, Roger, he's still playing quite all right. Are you telling me maybe is this lost in translation? What is Cilic is telling us that Roger might struggle because the courts are faster? That doesn't make any sense. By all means, please, Mr. Wimbledon, make the courts faster and close the roof. All right, let's get into these sensational headlines. Roger Federer reacts to unfortunate Borna Coric defeat, but Wimbledon goal crashes down. How many times has Roger not won in Halle, but still won at Wimbledon? Quite a few. Anyways, Federer said he was a bit unfortunate to lose considering how he played, but is not too disheartened by the defeat as he went on to praise Coric for the level of his tennis. I actually thought I played maybe my best match of the week today. Probably. As far as first serves going in and hitting aces, those first two sets, he sure did. Only lost 5 points in total on his serve in that first set. 2 on the first, 3 on the second. I actually thought I played maybe my best match of the week today. It just didn't go my way. So it's a bit unfortunate there, but I'm definitely going to leave with my head high, thinking it's been a good run. Credit to him, he played really, really quality tennis at the very end of that first set, and then the third as well. He never really dropped his level, and that was it. It was an unfortunate match for me, but credit to Borna, really come out and play a tough match today. However, the loss to Coric had an additional blow, and I know some of you are sad about this, but my friend Emmett, who is a ball boy over at the Canadian tennis tournaments that Roger won't be playing this year. Sorry, Emmett. Emmett was saying, I hope Roger doesn't win Halle because I want 99 to be his 9th Wimbledon. So we're going for the 999, baby. We're going for the triple nines. Screw triple sevens. Roger Federer has clearly demonstrated that 7 is not a lucky number anymore. So triple nines. 999. Federer is currently at 98 career titles, and a win at Halle would have made it 99. And so if he won his 9th title at Wimbledon next month, it would have been fittingly his 100th title at the event he found his most success and glory in, Wimbledon. SW19. Don't forget that. Little drop shot. That was hideous. Double blow for Roger Federer as Wimbledon dream ends. This is from FoxSports.com. The last one, I forgot. Roger Federer has missed out on the chance to win his 100th career title at Wimbledon next month after losing the Halle Open final in Germany. Why was everyone so stuck on? You think Roger was really thinking like, well, I've got to win number 100 at Wimbledon, otherwise my career is a big failure. I don't think he was thinking that. Defending champion Federer was a strong bet to rack up title number 99 to grass court tournament, but was beaten, unfortunately, by Kyrgios. It ends a 20-match winning streak on grass. That's a little sad. And also means Rafa will replace Federer. Yeah, Rafa's also going to be replacing the hairs on his head, but we'll get to that in a second. One more thing from this article before I crumple this piece of garbage up. A costly net fault from 21-year-old Coric allowed Federer to even up the affair in the second set. Are you telling me Roger Federer, who outplayed Coric in every metric in that second set, only was allowed to win that set because of a costly net fault? What did it say? A costly net fault? What are they even talking about? Roger Federer makes huge fitness claim ahead of Wimbledon title defense. This is from The Express. Roger Federer has moved to ease the concerns of his fans after losing to Born and Short. Is Roger really that worried about the concerns of his fans? I hope not. I don't. Nothing they say is true. If anyone wonders why do I still read articles from The Express, because they basically just, the way their articles work is they take a quote from the press conference and then wildly extrapolate on what that could mean. So if you want to see some quotes, go to Express, disregard the first 3 paragraphs, and get to where you see the quotation marks. There's no need to worry regarding my fitness. I just need to rest next week. We'll probably practice in the second half of the week again, specific tennis training. I'm happy with the tournaments I played. I gained a lot of valuable information. Today it was decided like how it is often, the one who wins the bigger points wins the match. So this is obviously a response. I'm sure someone in the press conference said hey, were you tired out there today, Roger? Are you going to have enough energy for Wimbledon? Roger did look maybe a little tired in that third set. I think part of that, one, he hasn't played since March, right? Or was it early? No, he didn't even make it to April because he lost first round or second round, whatever, in Miami. Roger hasn't played 2 tournaments back-to-back since March, and he really didn't get to play a full 2 tournaments then. So maybe Roger was a little bit tired in that third set, but I think a big part of that was the mental fatigue of knowing that you should have already won this. You should already have number 99 at Halle. You should already have La FEDecima, 10 titles at Halle, because you gave that first set away in the tiebreaker. So I'm sure the mental fatigue of knowing that you gave that first set tiebreaker away, Roger. You totally did. I mean, look at that point. Let's analyze that point. So many things he could have done. He could have just angled the overhead. I know he didn't have time to get back, couldn't get back in time to hit a good overhead, a powerful overhead. He hit a more dinky overhead, but he also hit it right up the middle, right to Coric. Now, these shots are so hard to execute in the moment, even for the great Swiss maestro Roger Federer. He could have angled that shot a little over. He could have came to the net off of that slice that he put on the baseline that Coric had such a hard time hitting. It looked like he was going to fall on the ground when he hit it. You never see that and think, oh, this guy's about to win the match or win this point, win the set, whatever. Roger could have closed out the net. Then he could have gone for more on his forehand. He hit a very whippy forehand that followed through like a Rafa stroke, landed a little short, a little close to the service line, but still was a well-struck ball. I mean, it was enough to get a decent volley, you would think, although Coric was able to hit it like Djokovic and really put it out wide, so Roger had to do that little pickup forehand volley. He could have done more with that, maybe. He could have made that little backhand pickup volley right after it. So many things going wrong. But you know what's a serious problem? A bigger problem than that. This next story. Oh, my God. Mr. Goat, how are you sleeping through all this? Rafa Nadal may undergo a hair transplant again. This is from Luigi Gatto, tennisworldusa.org. Though some images featuring Nadal in the French Open final against Dominic Thiem, you can see he has less hair than the past, especially behind his head. I feel ridiculous even reading this story, but I know a lot of people out there. It was kind of a mystery to me, and I know it was probably the same for a lot of people out there. We wondered, what happened to Rafa? It looked like he was losing hair, and then all of a sudden he had hair. I wasn't aware that he had a hair transplant surgery in the first place. According to El Mundo, Spanish publication, it seems the problem is back for the 17-time Grand Slam winner, but it's definitely a normal situation. Oh, don't worry. It's normal, not for Roger. Specialist Javier Mato Ansorena claimed the tennis player is very young and he could keep losing his hair. Frightening. Transplanted hair gets lost because they are removed from the occipital region, whatever that means, of the head and don't fall while natural hair keeps a-falling. That's why Nadal may undergo a little surgery. Alternatively, in order to avoid this operation, where they remove hair from one spot and put it in another, Rafa could use anti-androgens like the finasteride. It's a group of medicines that stop biological effects of male hormones. However, for Rafa, it would not be most appropriate treatment being an elite player, the specialist suggested. I know some of you Fed heads out there are such big fans and hate Rafa. You're such big fans. You're like, please take that hormone treatment and screw up your body, Rafa. Anyways, I might not even leave this in the show. I feel like it's a low blow. The guy's losing his hair. It sucks. I wish it didn't happen to anybody. It's happening. It's in the news. I read it. My scumbag. Comment below. Speaking of scumbags, this one's a beauty. Nick Kyrgios fined £15,000 for doing NSFW. Folks, I need your help. What does NSFW stand for? Comment below if you know. NSFW stuff with a water bottle while at W. Okay, first, a little disclaimer. If you are underage, I know most, YouTube lets you see the average ages of people watching your channel. And I know that there's very few people watching who are under the age of 18. But if you are one of them, I must warn you, this next story we're going to talk about from Nick Kyrgios is graphic and contains sexual innuendo. So you've been warned. Tell your kids to leave the room if they're watching the show with you. Hide your cat's eyes. This is from golfdigest.com, written by Sir Coleman Bentley. Nick Kyrgios is the most naturally gifted tennis player on earth right now. Unfortunately for tennis, he's also an enormous douchebag. Can I say that? Does YouTube let you say that? He's a McEnroe man-child with the work ethic of your cat. Hey. Oh, okay, maybe you got a point. He breaks rackets just because he's forgotten what it's like to buy them, and once told Stan Wawrinka that his girlfriend was sleeping with his best friend mid-match. We remember that. He's obscene and obscenely entertaining. Exactly what tennis needs. And the worst thing about tennis. And this weekend, he found a creative new way to not really give a shiza at the Queen's Club Championship in London. Unsurprisingly, Kyrgios, who would rather self-destruct than actually lose, pulled off this little stunt in the middle of a straight sets loss to Marin Cilic in the semifinals. After a £15,000 fine for the gesture, the full-grown middle schooler, who can usually be found on the back of the bus picking on emotionally vulnerable kids because his parents don't give him enough validation, took home over £90,000 in prize money. Does this guy, Sir Coleman Bentley, does he have some kind of issue? I'm wondering. Was he really picked on? There's a lot of vitriol in that article. And when we talk about Nick Kyrgios, we got to shoot it, baby, because he loves that basketball. So I'm like, what did he do? What is NSFW? What does it mean? Well, leave it to TMZ.com to give us the full scoop. Tennis star Nick Kyrgios, stiff fine for penis bottle joke. Tennis star Kyrgios gets stiff fine for masturbating his water bottle. Breaking news! Mr. Goat, you're awake for this one? Okay. See, cats aren't lazy. Work ethic of a cat. This cat works harder than anyone in show business. Tennis star Nick Kyrgios was slapped with a hard fine, a stiff fine, a hard fine. TMZ, $17,500 for pretending his water bottle was a penis. Pete's going to be so mad that I read this story. It all went down Saturday during his Queen's Club Championship semifinal match when cameras caught the tennis bad boy simulating a 5-knuckle shuffle. What is that? The tournament supervisor, Lars Graf, hit the 23-year-old with a fine, but would only cite inappropriate behavior for the penalty. Yeah, they're not going to say penis bottle, masturbating, water bottle, stiff fine, all this stuff. I guess miming masturbation with a water bottle isn't quite in the written no-nos of tennis rulebook. FYI, Kyrgios, same dude the ATP had to fine $10,000 a few years ago for hurling epic trash talk at Stanislaw the Manislaw Wawrinka. All right, we're going to get out of here. Thank you for watching the show today. We got 2 things left for you. The Express calculated predicts Roger and Rafa's schedules for Wimbledon 1 week from today, Monday, July 2nd. First round, Roger. He'll play Wednesday, Friday, then the next Monday, 2 weeks from today, then the next Wednesday, then the Friday, and then the Sunday, if he keeps winning, of course. Rafa, the opposite of that. He starts Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then the second week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Of course, they have to keep winning to play all those days. And final story, we got a baby Fed sighting. 14-year-old's game gets compared to Roger Federer. This Italian kid, Luca Nardi, L-U-C-A space N-A-R-D-I, promising name for the future of Italian men's tennis, 14 years old, 10 months, won his first ATP ranking point, beating world number 770, Bastian Maya, at a futures tournament in Italy, 6-7, 6-1, 6-4. Lost tiebreaker, managed to win the other sets. Wish Roger Federer could have done the same. His coach says, former world number 42, Stefano Pescosolito, part of the Italian Tennis Federation's coaching team, said, Nardi's game may be the one that gets closest with the tactics to Roger Federer. He manages to play serve and forehand with extreme easiness and has solutions in all areas of the court with the backhand and the volley game. So, hey, if this guy really is the next baby Fed, within the next 4 to 5 years, he's already got one ranking point at age 14. So now he's ranked in the top, 1,000, 2,000, whatever. When you get one ranking point, I think that pretty much puts you at, like, you're tied with a bunch of other dudes who have one ranking point for 2,222 in the world, something like that. So this 14-year-old kid, a lot of people talking about him, saying he looks kind of like Federer with his style and his flair. Already ranked at age 14. We should be hearing a lot from him in the next 3, 4, 5 years at most. So keep that name fresh. Maybe write it down somewhere. You heard it first right here on the Coffee Break Tennis. We'll see you on Thursday. Oh, and next week I got a surprise for you. We got a really big surprise for you. We'll show it to you soon. And one other thing, won't be such a surprise. We're going to try to do a daily video during Wimbledon. I'll do my very best. I think I'll be able to pull it off every day, at least a quick sip or something. We'll get a video out every day of Wimbledon. This week, we might do more than 2 videos, but as of right now, I'm just planning on Monday and Thursday. There's so much stuff to talk about. Can't get to it all in just one show. Thank you for watching Coffee Break Tennis. Me and Mr. Goat, we're going to sleep off the depression from yesterday's loss, and we'll see you on Thursday. See ya!
Oh, he's got it. You're lucky, man. No apology there. But surely he didn't mean that. It was amazing he managed to get it back, but there was a fair amount of luck involved.
It was good, wasn't it?